Whoa. Alright. Thought the chair was gonna tip back right there, but we back here today making a video. Like I said, like I promised, I told y'all videos were coming back. I said they were coming back. I said they were. Now, originally I was planning to upload Battle for the Grid, another series for the Battle for the Grid, but I went online yesterday and I got clapped, like bad. Like they were whooping me, bro. Like it was bad, all right? It was bad. I was like, all right, I need to take some time to lab a little bit before I get back on that game. So I'm gonna have to probably take at least another week to get back on that game. So I'll probably have something next week, hopefully. And also it kept kicking me from games. So on top of that, I couldn't just upload it. Anyways, we're here today for a Kingdom Hearts tier list. I kind of want to make a tier list for Kingdom Hearts games for a little bit now. You know what I'm saying? For a little while I wanted to make a tier list, but I wasn't uploading for so long that I just never got to it. I don't necessarily want to make like tier lists just a recurring thing all the time, but I'm definitely down to make some on series where I feel like I can give valid input. Like this game, I play all these games. So I feel, well, except for Kingdom Hearts Coded, the original one on the mobile game, on the mobile phone. So I can't say much for that one, but I feel like I have, you know, at least some valid input on most of these games, or for my own opinion at least. So for like this, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Sonic the Hedgehog, like games, series like that, I can definitely give some input. But on a series like Tekken or Street Fighter, like I can't give like a lot of input because I haven't played all of the games and like putting in a lot of time on them. So, but series that I feel like I can give some valid input in, I'll probably make some videos on that. Although I do have one more tier list that I actually was planning on, but you'll see that in a few weeks. In a few weeks, you'll see that one. So anyways, we've got the Kingdom Hearts tier list. Real quick to run through the tiers. We got the yes tier, the top tiers, obviously great tiers, solid, and then oof. The oof, you don't want to be an oof, all right? You don't want to be an oof. So if you like this, you already know what to do, man. You've been on YouTube. I really don't even have to say much. You know how it works and how to support when you can. So anyways, let's get cracking, all right? So we've got the games here. This is actually supposed to be right here, but you know, whatever. I was like, that's supposed to be right here. I was trying to get them in order before I started, but a little technical difficulty. So we're gonna start it off, kick it off with Kingdom Hearts 1. All right, we're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna try to make sure this doesn't last too long. I don't want it to go any longer than like 25 minutes. Hopefully I can stay under that time limit. So let's get to it. Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 for me is probably just solid. It's a solid game. I should have prefaced this at the beginning of the video, but this is my opinion. All these games are my own opinion, where I think that they go for me personally, how I enjoy them, how I like them. So if you feel like you like the game more, if you feel like you like Kingdom Hearts 1 should be in yes tier, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I have no problem with that. You can like whatever games you want, you know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. But this is my own. So don't come attacking me for my opinion on what I feel like, all right? You like the game more or less, that's fine. You can put your rankings in the comments if you want to, but this is my own. So anyways, Kingdom Hearts 1, the base game is just solid. Obviously, in retrospect, the gameplay is so much slower than the other ones, but that's not why I think it's a solid game. Like, I'm not penalizing it for that. Like, I'm not gonna penalize a game for being older, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's kind of stupid that some games get penalized that way for being older. Like, it came out so much longer ago. Of course, it's gonna be less. The gameplay might not be as optimized as it is now. So, but Kingdom Hearts 1, I think it's a solid game. I mean, you know, the story is the story when things were much simpler, a much simpler time to follow the Kingdom Hearts lore. And the game, you know, is solid. When I played it, you know, so long ago, so many years ago, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 1, like the base game, in a while. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all. It's been a while since I was like in elementary school. It's been a long time. So, but the base game, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it, even though it took me forever to beat Ansem. Like, I'm talking about forever. Like, it took me a month to beat Ansem on his first stage, and then it took me like 2 weeks to beat him on his second stage, and then I don't even want to talk about how long it took me to beat him after that. So anyways, the base game I think is really good. The gameplay is solid. If you've never played it, I would still recommend that you play it. At least give it one playthrough before you decide, you know, whether you want to go through it or not, or complete it or not. I'd still say you should probably play it, because the experience is something that you don't get in any other game, because of how older it is and how different the combat is now compared to how it was back then. So now Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, great. All right, now, and yes, I'm doing the Final Mixes versions different from the base versions because the extra content that is added and the fixes that is added in the Final Mix version, it's the same. It's similar. It's a similar game. It's in a similar vein, but it's enough for me to justify it being in like its own category. So I think Final Mix is definitely great. It took everything that Kingdom Hearts 1 did and just made it better. You know what I'm saying? It added the Xemnas secret boss fight, which is one of the craziest secret boss fights still to this day, man. I remember, because I didn't play the Final Mix version of Kingdom Hearts 1 for so long. So like when I found out about the original Final Mix version and the original Xemnas secret boss battle, that was crazy. That was insane. I was like, what? I was on YouTube when I was a kid, man, looking it up. I'm like, yo, who is this? Like, this is crazy. And of course it was in Japanese because we didn't have an American copy. So I was like, yo, what is this? I can't understand what's going on. I couldn't understand what's going on, so it was crazy, man. Wow, I like the Final Mix version though. I played the Final Mix version not that long ago when I bought the Story So Far, which, by the way, the Story So Far right now is $30. Like, it's $30. So if you've never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, or if you've always wanted to get into it, or maybe you're missing a few games that you never played, now is the time to get on the PS4. It's $30. I don't know how long the discount will last, so you better cop it now. I'm telling you. I don't know when this will go away, so if you've ever thought about getting the game, now would be the time. You can get all the games and Kingdom Hearts 3. That's besides the point. I need to get back on topic. Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix is it's a great game. Honestly, I don't really feel like I should say that much. I just think it's a great game. I think it's solid. You know, one thing I do love about the original Kingdom Hearts is, for both of them, is Sora's outfit, man. I love Sora's Kingdom Hearts 1 outfit. I think it's probably his best one, or it's my favorite one, at least. Out of all three of his main game outfits, I think it's my favorite one. But it's a solid game, definitely worthy of being in the great tier. Base Chain of Memories. Woo! Base Chain of Memories. All right. Man, Base Chain of Memories is just, it's just bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not like the card combat system, bro. I really did not like the card combat system. Especially when I played when I was younger, man. I did not like that at all. At all, I did not like it. I was like, bro, who made this? Like, who decided that the card combat system was the combat system they wanted to go with? I know they wanted to be different and try something new, but like, and use the whole card thing, but come on, man. Come on. I was not a fan at all, dog. But the story of the game is still really good. I still do like the story of the game. With like Nominate and the introduction to Organization 13, I think from that standpoint, it's solid, but the gameplay like just kind of ruined it for me. Like I didn't even complete the game when I was younger on GBA. Like I completed the game on Game Boy, I think. Let me think. You remember when I started that series like a long time ago, like years back when I started the series for the channel with Chain of Memories, the original one? I actually finished it, but I just never ended up uploading anything because like I never got around to editing it. So that was like actually the first time I beat the Game Boy version of this game, which was years later after I had the original. So yeah, I didn't like the combat, and that's honestly why it is where it is. So like, there's not much more else I need to say. Chain of Memories, I would put it in because I still don't like the combat, but I do think it's a bit better than the original. I think it improved, and I think the improvements really come from the fact that it's just on a console game. You know what I'm saying? It's on a console system versus being on Game Boy where it's very limited. Like, it's on a console system, so visually it looks better. It's a bit smoother to play. It's a bit easier to control, and I think that's mainly where the improvements come from. Other than that though, I mean, I'm still not a fan of the combat system, but I'd say it's a solid game. I'd say it's a solid game. If you have to play Chain of Memories or Chain of Memories, I'd definitely say Chain of Memories. I would not I would not fret on that at all. I would not fret on that decision. So I definitely play Chain of Memories over Chain of Memories, but it's a solid game. I won't give it too much flack. Now, Kingdom Hearts 2, the base game. Great. Great. The base game is great. It's not Final Mix, but it's great. I think the base game by itself, when it came out, it was, you know, considered the best Kingdom Hearts game of all time, and Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is still considered the best Kingdom Hearts game of all time. So if the Final Mix version is considered the greatest of all time, that means the base game had to have done something correct to get it to that point, man. I'm telling you, I like the base game a lot. It is missing a lot of content after you play the Final Mix version. You go back and you're like, dang, man, it's missing a lot of content. Like, you don't have the Cavern of Remembrance with the data battles. You don't have any of that. You don't have the Terra battles. Like, it's missing some stuff, but it's, for what it was when it came out, it's still a great game. It's still a great game, and using that to propel me to the next one, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Do I have to explain? Like, this is the greatest Kingdom Hearts game of all time. It took me a long time to play it, bro. It took me a long time to play it. Like, I played Kingdom Hearts 2, the base game, like a year or two after it came out. I got it on my PS2. Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I did not play it until I copped the Story So Far. Not the Story So Far. What was it? Oh my gosh. Was it all in one? Was it the story so far? No, all in one. All in one is the one that has all of them, man. Story so far. They had the story so far, which was it was a 1.5, 2.5 HD remix. They had 1.5 and 2.5 for PS4 when they ported it. That was the first time I ever played Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. The first time I ever played the Final Mix version, and I'm telling you, the hype that it gets is well deserved. All right, it's well deserved. It's definitely well deserved, bro. That game is amazing. It's very good. The content there is great. The combat is great. The story is still amazing. Like, wow. Oh wow, it's a phenomenal game. I don't need to explain much more on that. I think the general consensus is that's the best Kingdom Hearts game to ever be released, and I would not argue that. So, now Days, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I have heavy bias. I'm heavily biased with this game. Heavily biased, okay? Now think about that when I put it in great tier. I'm heavily biased, all right? A lot of people would put it in probably N tier, maybe at highest solid tier for a majority of people, but for me, I'm heavily biased. It was the first Kingdom Hearts game I ever completed on its own. I beat it. I remember I got Kingdom Hearts, let's see, Days came out, because you remember I didn't beat the original game for a long time. Like I had the original game, I didn't beat it for a long time. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and I didn't cop it for like another year or two. Like I had beaten Days first, then I beat Kingdom Hearts 2 afterwards. Like right after. Like Kingdom Hearts, after I beat Days, that's what inspired me to go get Kingdom Hearts 2, the base version, and beat it. So Days was like my first, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite Kingdom Hearts game, so I'm heavily biased towards it. I think the combat, the people always want to talk about the combat of it, but it was on the DS, bro. It was on the DS. Like it had so many limitations, and it was the first game on the DS. So of course the combat's not gonna be anything extraordinary. Of course it's gonna be simple and basic. It's a DS game, you know what I'm saying? But even then, we had mission mode. Mission mode, let me tell you about mission mode, all right? 19 characters, all Organization 13, plus Xion, plus Sora, plus Riku, plus Mickey, and Donald, and Goofy, and you could play all of them. They all had different weapons, right? With the panels, you could use different gears for different weapons. They all had different weapons, and they were all fully playable. Like the only reason mission mode was not talked about as much as it was is because you could only do it, like obviously solo you could play it, or for multiplayer you can only do local multiplayer. You couldn't do like online because the DS, they didn't have like full-on online capabilities yet. So that sucked. But if it was on like the 3DS and it had all that, I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you, that would have been insane. All right, it was still insane when you played with people locally. So I'm telling you, Days, I love Days. I love the story. Roxas is my favorite character. Again, I'm heavily biased. All right, I love the Sea Soul Trio. I love Days. Wow, man, I love that game. I love that game. I still play it now. Like I still go back and play it on my DS. What's on my 3DS now, but I still go back and play it on my 3DS now, man. But I love Days. I love Days, man. It's my favorite game. I love the box art. Obviously the music it's Kingdom Hearts, so of course it's good. I just love Days, bro. I love it. If you could not tell now that I'm biased, you can definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like you didn't know, you already know now that I'm biased towards this game. So Birth by Sleep, the original, great game. Had it on PSP. I had the original game on PSP. I copped it like some years later after it came out because I didn't get a PSP till late because I wanted the City of 012 Duodecim really bad one year, and I just like ended up copping a PSP, and I got Birth by Sleep along with Duodecim. So I played the original, and it's pretty good. You know, it's a good game. I thought it was very solid. You know what I'm saying? It's a great game. I like the story. I think the only problem with the game for me personally is the fact that we knew the ending. Like we knew how it was going to end. We knew that they weren't going to survive to the ending because. Well, I should have said spoiler alert, but I should have said spoiler alert, but we knew that like Ventus, Terra, and Aqua were not gonna have a happy ending because it was a prequel. But we already had seen Kingdom Hearts 1, so it was just like there was no way we knew that they weren't gonna make it to the end of the game in one piece. So that was my only gripe with the game. Other than that, I liked the combat, I liked the story, I liked how there were 3 different perspectives that we could play from, and I like how it all converged together in the end. So I think it's a great game. I would say you should play the Final Mix version. I wouldn't say go get a PSP and buy the original, but if you do have it, then you know where I'm coming from. So now the Final Mix version, like Kingdom Hearts 2, fantastic, fantastic. Took everything the original had, it just made it better, all right? It just made it better. I love the Final Mix version with the epilogue story with Aqua and the Realm of Darkness. That was fantastic. Like, I love that. The changes to the combat, like the fixes to the combat, the extra enemies. Like it's a great game, bro. It's a great game. It took Birth by Sleep, which was already great, and just made it better. It's like Kingdom Hearts 2. It just took what was already great and made it even better. So like, I don't really need to go too much in depth. I already told you what I like about Birth by Sleep. Just imagine that and imagine it better, and that's Final Mix. So it's a great game, man. I love Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Now Coded, Kingdom Hearts Coded, oof tier, okay? Oof tier. It was a mobile game, and not a mobile game like Kingdom Hearts Key mobile game. I'm talking about like a flip phone mobile game. Like, it was, yeah. Recoded, I'm also biased on this one. Not as biased as Days, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Recoded is a solid game, man. Outside of the story, all right, I will say this: the story deserves the flack that it has. All right, the story deserves the flack, because if you omit the story from Recoded from Kingdom Hearts as a total, like, nothing changes. Really, nothing changes. But the gameplay, I'm telling you, for a DS game, Recoded for a DS game, the gameplay was hidden, bro. I'm telling you, it took inspiration from Birth by Sleep and implemented that into its combat style, and it was just so much better than Days. Like, and I love Days, so if I thought the gameplay was better, man, I'm telling you, people give the gameplay flack. I'm like, did you play the game? Did you play Recoded on DS? I'm telling you, it's better. It's better, man. Like, and the fact that it made the gameplay so much better from Days to Recoded, like the fact that it was so much better considering it was on the same system, man. I'm telling you, man. Recoded gets flack that it does not deserve, man. Outside of the story does deserve the flack, but the gameplay does not deserve the flack. It does not deserve the flack at all, man. It's so much better. And it's cool, man. You have the datascape. Like, the datascape was such a cool concept. With Data Sora, and you have the blocks, right? And how like Data Riku and all them, and they were all different. Like, and then Roxas was the final boss. You already know Roxas is my favorite character. That's already super hype for me. So yeah, I don't love Recoded, but I like it a lot. I think it's a solid game, and I think it gets a little bit of unnecessary hate just because it was on the DS. Like, I'm not gonna let the fact that a game was on the DS or on limited hardware like affect how I view it. I still think it's a good game. So now these two, I don't know why they're both on here, because it's not like a final mix version. The only difference is that on the original you have the bottom DS screen, and on the HD version you don't. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, but I still haven't played the HD version because I just don't feel the need to play it. I don't feel the need to play it, so because I like the 3D version a lot. I'm actually gonna put that in a solid tier. I think it's a good game, and I don't feel like I need to play the HD version, honestly. Like, I might one day, like I might go on there on the I thought I had a cough, but oh, I don't have Rona. I feel like I should say that I don't have the Rona. I just thought I had a cough because I've been talking for so much. Anyways, I have it on the story so far, but I just haven't played the HD version. But the 3D version on the 3DS, I like it a lot, man. I love flow motion. Flow motion was one of the best things that was added to this series, man. Flow motion was amazing in that game. I loved it. I loved it. And you can play as Riku. Any game you can play as Sora and Riku is gonna be a good time. I know I put Chain of Memories down here, even though you can play Sora and Riku, but we're not gonna get into that. I love the way that they both played in Dream Drop Distance. I think it was amazing, man. I enjoyed the game a lot. The story is a little all over the place. I will admit that. It's a little all over the place, but I liked the worlds that they added. Hunchback of Notre Dame was really cool. The Three Musketeer world? Come on now, bro. That was dope. That was dope. The Three Musketeer world was cracking, all right? That was probably one of my favorite worlds in the game. Tron was hidden. What else? What's the other one? Oh my goodness. It's Fantasia, but Mickey with the magical hat. Isn't that Fantasia? That's what it's called. That world was hidden too. That world was hidden. I love that, man. I love the game. Like, I think it's a good game. I think it's some unnecessary flack as well. The HD version it might be better. I don't know. I haven't played it, so I don't know if that would go in great tier or not. But I'm gonna assume it's probably the same. I mean, it's the same game. It's not like a final mix version. So, but yeah, I think it's a solid game, man. I'm tempted to put it in great. I am tempted to put it in great because I liked it a lot. I'm thinking about it. Do I want to put it in great? Do I think it's deserving of great? What did I not like about the game? I'm trying to think of like what I did not like about the game. It was a bit like it was a bit floaty. I will say that it was a bit floaty, like the combat, but I still think it's I'm putting it in great, bro. I'm putting it in great. I don't care. I don't care. I'm putting it in great. This is my opinion. It's my list. I'm putting it in great. I like the game a lot. So now we're on the keys, and for all the key games, like I'm gonna put them in because I don't care. I don't care. Like I have Kingdom Hearts Union Key on my phone right now, and like I haven't touched that game in probably over like a year and a half. So I know it has some story stuff with like Ventus and Marluxia and like the Four Masters and all that stuff, and Keyblade War, pre-Keyblade War, all that stuff. Like I don't care. I really don't care, man. It's a mobile game, and you know, since it's a mobile game, they obviously are trying to get that bread off of it, and I understand they're trying to make that money, but like I don't care about them like that. Like they're N tier. I would put them in OOF tier, but I don't even care enough to put them in OOF tier, to be honest. Like, I don't care. Like they just keep coming out with different versions: Kingdom Hearts Key, Union Key, Unchained Key, Unbreakable Key, Unlockable Key. Like I don't care. I don't care. So now we have 0.2. I'm gonna also say that's N. Not because I think it's a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's solid. I played it. It only took me like an hour and a half to beat. The customization that they had, like the visual customization that you could use, like with character customization for Aqua, like visually, I thought that was pretty cool. That was a neat addition, but it's just really short. Like it's a short game. Like it's really short. I understand because it's like a fragmentary passage, so of course it's only a fragment of a game, but nah, it was just so short. I thought the combat was okay, you know what I'm saying? It was Osaka team's first time trying to put combat on like a console game, but you know, it's just, you know, it's kind of there. You know, I wouldn't go out of my way to play it ever again. You know, I wouldn't, if you've never played it, I wouldn't go out of my way to play it, but if you have it, I'd say give it a go. But I don't think it's anything too crazy. It has Aqua, that's a plus, you know what I'm saying? Any game with Aqua is a plus, so. Alright, and then finally we have Kingdom Hearts 3. Now this one, since they don't have like the Remind logo, I'm just gonna say Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remind instead of just the base game, because I want to be fair to the game, even though they don't have the logo on here. I think the base game by itself, I will say, is probably just solid. I think, and I'll say it's great. I think the base game by itself is great. Just because, you know, we were a little bit disappointed with how long it took. I know a lot of people were disappointed with how long it took, and then like what the actual product was. I would just say it's a great game. But with Remind, I think it goes in yes tier. Looking at it collectively, the Disney worlds were kind of weak. Well, the Disney worlds that were weak were really weak, and then the Disney worlds that were strong were strong. Like I liked the Toy Story world, Monsters Inc., Big Hero 6, the ones that had like the original story. Those were really good. I love those worlds. But then like Pirates of the Caribbean, Frozen, Tangled, like they're not bad worlds to travel through, but like the story of them is like, it's kind of pointless, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just like a copy and paste of the movie. So, and I understand that because all the Disney worlds, you know, in some shape or form or capacity is a copy and paste of the movie, but they didn't really try to spice it up like at all. Like with Olympus, at least they tried to spice it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Give it a little bit of a more importance to the actual story, with like Hades meeting with Maleficent and Pete. But nah, like the other worlds, they were not having it, man. They were like, you know what? We're just gonna look at the movie and we're gonna make the cutscenes more HD, and we're just gonna put Sora and Donald and Goofy in them and call it a day. And that's what they did. But I love the game, man. I love the game with Remind. I think the Remind DLC was amazing. I think it was phenomenal. I think it's worth the money. The data fights are amazing. Oh my gosh. And then Yozora, like I still have not beaten Yozora. All right, the closest I got, I took him down to a bar and a half and died. Like Yozora is super difficult. All right, he's super hard, and I love like the VRM Rex things that they added. I like it. I know some people don't like it. I like it. The fact that you can play with so many different characters in Remind. You can play as Roxas, Riku, Aqua, Kairi for the first time ever. Like, come on now. Mickey in that one section, but I don't really count that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really count that. But the music was hidden, obviously. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, even the base game was solid. I think just it got flack because it took so long to make, and people's expectations were just so high, and understandably so. It took so long to make, and they were teasing it for so long that I don't even blame people for having like expectations that high that they did. Like I don't blame them, because I had high expectations as well, and I was slightly disappointed, but I still think it was a good game. And I think with the Remind DLC that it goes in the yes tier, man. With all this content that they added, the Keyblades, the new enemies, the pro codes, to make it like more difficult. I think just all together, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is definitely deserving of yes tier with the Remind DLC. So that's my Kingdom Hearts tier list. I wrapped up at around 25 minutes. It'll be probably a little bit over 25 when I'm done. So yeah, let me know what games, what your tier list would look like, or what games you liked, what games you didn't like, your favorite games, your least favorite games. Definitely let me know in the comments. I'll probably have like maybe a few more tier lists for some other series that I feel like, again, I have some at least somewhat valid input to add. Other than that though, I don't have much else to say, man. This is my tier list. Yeah, I like the way it looks. You know what I'm saying? I think it looks just as good. I mean, I might move Unchained Key to oof, but other than that, I don't really have much else to say, man. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have hopefully some Battle for the Grid stuff coming soon, and I'll try to be consistent with content. I'll try to add some videos, drop at least, at least one video a week when I can. So other than that, I'm out. Goodbye. Deuces. Y'all know how I get down around here, man. Peace.